So Microsoft just published an article called Optimizing Your Content for Inclusion in AI Search Answers. And it actually has some really good information about how to get recommended by large language models like ChatGPT. So I figured we could go through some of the big ones. This is what I love about Microsoft, by the way. They're way more transparent about how to rank in search engines than Google ever has been. For example, Microsoft shared the fact that user behavior factors into their ranking algorithm years before Google was forced to reveal that from the DOJ trials. Now, most of the article that Microsoft put out is the same thing that SEOs have been saying for years, but it's still very valuable information. This is stuff like having clear titles, using proper heading structure, but they also confirmed a lot of our early findings about what works in AI search specifically. These are things like semantic chunking, making sure every section or every chunk of your article is self-contained. In other words, you should never need context from another part of the article to make sense of a specific section. They also talk about how bulleted lists and tables are easier for machines to parse than large paragraphs of text. They also provided some very specific guidance like avoid making more than one claim per sentence. As they point out, having multiple claims in a single sentence can confuse machines that are trying to understand your content. Another thing that they said can confuse machines, and I thought this was hilarious, M-dashes. This is ironic because it's large language models that are most notorious for overusing the M-dash. So whether or not the M-dash is confusing the machines or the machines are just labeling it as AI content because of the M-dash, I do think it's a good idea to be replacing all the M-dashes in your content, at least for now. They also confirmed that machines have a hard time finding information that's hidden in tabs. This is something that's been shown a few times from tests over the years, but you want to make sure all important content is visible on the page. They also encourage you to use question and answer format, which aligns with what pretty much every SEO is doing right now. In fact, typically when I ask SEOs what they're doing to optimize for AI, the only thing they say is adding more FAQs.